Right. I need to talk about technology now because Emma can't join us today. She's got a sore tooth. So we're delighted to be joined, as always, or as often is the case, by the Professor of Cyber Technology at Ulster University and, of course, Professor Kevin Curran. Hi, Kevin.
Good afternoon, Mark.
How's the form?
Good.
Do you remember that tune? No?
I do indeed, yeah, I like that.
It was a big old tune. It was a big tune. Right, Kevin, straight to Israel today. An app, this about virtual coins. If you pick up rubbish. Now, do you like the look of this one?
I do. It's not the worst idea. They've what we call gamified rubbish collection and reward users as well. So basically, when you're out walking and you see some rubbish, you just take a photo of it, and then the location is tagged in the photo, and obviously you pick it up and you can collect coins, and then these coins can be spent in a number of outlets, really. So it's just an encourage people to, clean up the countryside.
Like 10p for the glass bottle when you were a young fella in Ochterard.
Exactly, and I remember doing that clearly, collecting all the bottles and bringing them to the travelling van, which used to come to our village all the time. There's very few of them left now, but I used to love the travelling van on a Friday.
Yeah, the Icelanders do this a wee bit, but I think the Nordics, again, are way ahead of this, Kev, in terms of you put the can back in the thing and it's totally recycled 100% right. We've a lot to learn, haven't we?
We do indeed, yeah. It's hard to know how effective some of the recycling initiatives are.
So it's called Clean Coin. You view the photos, I can really see the amount of trash, says one of the guys involved here. CEO, the company's got 16,000 users, Kevin. 1,200 are active every week. Do you sense that governments keep an eye on that kind of thing by way of, adoption elsewhere?
It's possible. I mean, these things if this could take off in other countries as well, really, and other initiatives like this, because we can use sensors as well. What we call these Internet of Things devices. One of the smartest things I've seen was bins in Boston, which alert the lorry drivers, the bin collection lorry, when they're full, so they don't have to travel and empty half bins and all that. So these sensors are quite good. So there's technology can be used for good in the environment.
Yeah. Right, 4G and 5G. I don't know how it works, Kevin. It's a miracle, and we've seen such incredible stuff in our single generation. We are the only ones who will ever live to have had one foot either side of digital reality. We lived acoustically, read phone boxes, and now we have all this modern stuff. What's the latest with regard to UK 5G, Kevin?
Yes, I mean 5G has taken a hit because the number one 5G provider in the UK would have been Huawei, but they've been banned on security grounds as well. So they reckon that is going to cost many billions and delay the proper rollout of 5G by up to 2 years because of this. But again, if you remember our TVs, a lot of TVs, if you go to someome's house with an older TV, it doesn't work. You have to go and turn on the skybox or whatever else because it's using analog. And that was using a 700 megahertz spectrum. Again, so TV signals were using that, but of course that was very valuable spectrum for 5G because signals can travel longer in that spectrum. And it's just really good for 5G. So therefore, what they've done is gone to all the TV, stations around the UK, and they've been working on this for the last few years to roll out capacity on 4G and 5G. And it costs
Kevin,
350 million.
It's thinking simply right. There's only so many channels on a radio station. You can't go under 86 F, 80 whatever 8 FM or 105 FM. So there's only so much room in there to get all your radio out. And this is kind of similar, is it?
Oh, exactly. I mean, this gives us 694 to 790 because it gives us 700 megahertz in that band, really. And of course, you have to have channel separations as well. When it comes to wireless, and you can't have there are wireless channels which are reserved, obviously, for the Coast Guard, for the police, for the military as well. And it really has become because it's become so important. I mean, the UK government raised so much in the 5G auctions a number of years ago, really, because now we're doing so much and we're traveling so much, and communications are vital for the future.
Right, what about my Freeview? I'm now getting HD Freeview and FreeSat and all the rest. Kevin, it's brilliant. It is brilliant. You buy one wee thing, one off, and you get all that high definition stuff. So, what are the implications there for a digital terrestrial?
Well, the implications here really is that we'll have more spectrum to be used by the 4G, 5G operators throughout the UK again, because in Northern Ireland, 5G in the UK is not that good, actually. It's, we're getting about 200 megabits compared to China and South Korea, which lead us, really. We don't have great rates. And of course, 5G, you only get on your phone in major cities, really, in the UK. It's very seldom you get it. Having said that, 4G has improved a bit, but 5G is really not available in this location.
You see, and you walk into those TV shops and you look at the TVs and you're going, I could swim in that lake with David Attenborough, it's so clear, because that was 5G. But there's so few programmes made in 5G that you're not getting the good out of your telly if you bought one of the high-end ones.
Yeah, sorry, you mean probably 4K, Mark, rather than 5G.
Okay, right.
4K, yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do know that sometimes you can't.
Yes.
There's not enough programs made at the high end to justify the high end capacity, if you like.
Yeah, exactly. 4K is probably the standard at the moment, for good TVs
4K,
and for good broadcasts. Yeah, but we have 8K as well, and there we go, 16 after that. But I mean, you're right. There isn't that many because, again, even because it uses up more bandwidth as well. A lot of people are using Netflix and they don't have much bandwidth again. So rather than them suffering what we call the buffering problems again, where you're just waiting for it to load, it's easier for them to keep streaming 1080 is what we're mostly watching, or 720 really. So again, it's up to you. You can turn up the.
Hello, have we lost Kevin? Sorry, Kev.
No, yeah, you can also, of course, you can put settings in your Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever to downgrade if your connection's not very good, because maybe you don't care about 1080 and your connection's very bad, so you can downscale it.
But it's all that crazy high channel stuff, Kevin. Should we delete all that stuff? You know, all the stuff I mean in the high end, a lot of religious stuff and all the rest that you're never going to watch anyway. Well, some people will, but should we delete as many of the high end channels that we're never watching?
Well, you're right. I like my TV guide to be very neat, and a lot of the time when but every time you scan for new channels, which you have to, then all them channels come back again. Yes. A lot of my boxes, but I hate having to flick through all the shopping channels, and as you say, the TV stations you're never going to watch.
Woman makes Christmas card on television. Oh, anyway, Kevin, Instagram. Where are you at on Instagram? Do you trust Instagram? Do you like Instagram?
I trust it. I mean, I just post. I don't post much on it. Maybe twice a year on Instagram, and I like scrolling through it to see stuff. But so I don't mind these people. Again, the public want a social network, so I don't. I'm not out to crucify these guys, and the regulators will take care of them as well. But even Instagram have been forced, because teenagers are going onto that platform, and they've rolled out this feature now, which pops up and tells you, maybe you want to take a break if you're scrolling for 10, 20, 30 minutes. You can set the time limit. So Instagram themselves are telling you to go off Instagram, but it remains to be seen whether people ignore that. I think it's just a token gesture by them, but I mean, it's another feature that maybe people would realize. Okay, maybe I'm on this too long, but
okay. Amazon Echo speakers. I don't know what that is. Is that like Alexa or what, Kevin? Anyway, they can track you.
It is.
What are they doing now?
Yeah, they're using ultrasound technology within the speaker to tell if someone is in the room or not. So you can turn lights on or what. And it's actually a research area I worked on many years ago, again, using wireless networks again. That is what we call device-free passive localization, where you're able to detect if someone is moving inside a building by using the Wi-Fi signals again. And we've a patent on that at Ulster University. So I was interested to see, this is the first product I've seen using something like we worked on many years ago. So it's just motion detection using signals, because if you think about it, within your house again, it depends where you put your router. Again, the more walls in between your router, the more doors which are closed, the more insulation around it. If there's tinfoil or whatever, that all blocks the signal. Again, so the closer you are to your router, the better.
Gotcha.
And also because people moving will block the signal as well, and that's what we use our techniques against.
But Kevin, in a word, if you can, do you feel at the high end of it all, you've got some very talented kids and high-end digital heads, they are like their dad. Do you worry about the intrusion, or do you embrace it?
No, I don't worry about the intrusion. I worry about data breaches. I worry about being hacked by people abroad. But I don't, because people worry about the TVs, listen to them, the cameras turning on, everything else. But no, that doesn't happen. I don't worry about that, because these are technology companies, again, which are highly regulated as well. So they're not out there. I worry more about, clicking on the wrong link and someone getting into one of my, my bank accounts or whatever else, or I send money off somewhere. So I don't worry about the surveillance as much, but I do know governments have to do something about data breaches, because that is a real serious issue, again, and hackers are just increasing. Hacking is just increasing every single day.
Kevin, great stuff. Listen, thank you so much. Professor Curran there from the Ulster University with our tech specialist slot today. Emma unable to join us today.